Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video on my channel, Hairliciously. Subscribe to the channel for hair loss treatment updates and maintenance tips, as well as updates on my second hair transplant journey progress. Visit my website at hairliciously.com to grab your microneedling devices, low-level laser therapy caps, hair growth supplements, DHA bucking shampoo and serum, and other products that can help with hair growth. So today I wanted to cover a topic that I probably should have covered a while ago. I wanted to compare oral minoxidil with topical minoxidil and compare their efficacy with each other and just talk about oral minoxidil in general for treating genetic hair loss. And as you guys are already aware, the only topical hair loss treatment medication that is approved in the US by the FDA is minoxidil. It's the oldest approved hair loss treatment medication available, dating all the way back to 1988, which was the year that I was born. There are still unknown mechanisms of actions when it comes to minoxidil and its effects in promoting hair growth. But the consensus is that minoxidil is a vasodilator. It helps widen the blood vessels and opening potassium channels, which allows for more oxygen, more blood and nutrients to the hair follicles. And this is why it was actually previously also used to treat high blood pressure, also known as hypertension, since minoxidil helps relax the muscles in the walls of the blood vessels, and it also allows it to circulate more freely around the body. There are some studies that even say that minoxidil can even suppress androgen receptor related functions, but that's still up to debate and nothing's really been proven. There's a lot of people that only know minoxidil by its liquid or foam version. But like I stated, minoxidil for high blood pressure treatment actually comes in oral form. It comes in a small tablet. And since we already know that most drugs that are taken orally have better efficacy as it goes systemic into the bloodstream, scientists actually studied the effects of hair growth with topical minoxidil compared to that of oral minoxidil for treating hair loss. And even in the case with 5-alpha reductase inhibitors such as finasteride and dutasteride, they are taken orally, and studies already confirm that oral finasteride or dutasteride is more efficacious than topical applications. And so in one particular study, minoxidil 1 milligram oral tablet was compared with minoxidil 5% topical application in 52 women with female pattern hair loss. The women were either given 1 milligram of oral minoxidil or 1 milliliter of 5% minoxidil topically for 24 weeks. The study did show that the total hair density was higher in the oral minoxidil, so 12% versus 7.2% for topical minoxidil. And a thing to note from the study is that 27% of women, yes, 27% of women in the oral minoxidil group reported hypertrichosis versus only 4% in the topical minoxidil group. Side effects were well tolerated, but women actually grew excessive hairs on their arms, legs, eyelashes. So anywhere that these women actually had body hair, it just became more excessive and became thicker and longer. So that is a side effect when taking not only just liquid minoxidil, but also oral minoxidil. There was another more meaningful study evaluating the efficacy and effectiveness and safety of low dosage oral minoxidil in male androgenetic alopecia. There were a total of 41 male patients who were either given 2.5 or 5 milligrams of oral minoxidil daily for a minimum of 6 months. And over 90% of patients had clinical improvement, and only 4 patients demonstrated stabilization of their alopecia, indicating that none of the patients experienced worsening of the condition. So this is actually pretty good news. The most common side effect in this case was also hypertrichosis, which nearly a quarter of patients experienced just having excessive hair all throughout their bodies. Now, this is pretty interesting because since the study did show that everyone who was taking either 2.5 or 5 milligram of minoxidil oral tablet was able to maintain their hair at the minimum, whereas topical minoxidil 5% only shows about a 62% of patients with clinical improvement. So it does confirm that taking oral minoxidil has better efficacy than topical application. But I feel like a better study would, compare hair density, but I don't think that there's any studies that clinically examine for this. There's also a lot of different hair loss forums that also discuss about oral minoxidil, and users tend to agree that oral minoxidil is far superior than the topical version. There's plenty of examples online of people having good hair growth, and there's one guy in particular that I found on Reddit who was claiming that he was on finasteride, but he didn't see any effects, so he switched over to oral minoxidil, and then he actually started seeing good regrowth on his temples and crown. Now, I personally haven't tried oral minoxidil, but this actually leads me to believe that oral minoxidil is a very potent medication in terms of increasing hair, particularly the crown and also the temples and even the hairline. Now, Lonaten, which is the brand name for the oral minoxidil brand for hypertension, lists temple hair growth and even hairline growth as a side effect. So for those who are losing hair, this is actually pretty good news. Oral minoxidil, however, is not going to target the actual cause of genetic hair loss, which would be due to testosterone converting into DHT through 5-alpha reductase. But the drug seems to be strong enough to still promote hair growth, and in a lot of the instances, it works way better than finasteride in terms of hair growth. Now, we know that finasteride is a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, and it more so slows down further hair loss, and not everyone is going to experience hair growth. But oral minoxidil, on the other hand, seems to just override the fact that and just still promotes hair growth. So it is a pretty strong medication in my opinion, and anyone taking it really need to take caution before using it. I've read of people taking anywhere from 1 milligram to even 10 milligram of oral minoxidil, and some people even claim that higher dosages is going to be more effective. This might be the case because we do know that topical minoxidil 5% works a lot better than 2%. And while there hasn't been any studies confirming the different dosages for oral minoxidil in terms of efficacy, it also leads me to believe that a higher dosage may have better results. But this can also mean that, higher dosages tend to mean that it's going to have more side effects. And as I've mentioned, side effects are real when taking oral minoxidil or even any drugs in general. Some of the more common side effects would include salt and water retention, which can cause swelling or puffiness in the face, the hands, ankles, feet. And the other one, like I've mentioned earlier in this video, is hypertrichosis, which is excessive hair all throughout the body. Now, this can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on whether you like body hair or not. But also rapid heart rate. Oral minoxidil increases the heart rate. So those who are suffering from heart problems or even kidney and liver problems need to really consult with a doctor prior to taking it. There are some studies that even indicate that it can cause irregular ECGs, which is the electrical activity of the heart. And so it is pretty serious if you think about it. Other side effects can include things like difficulty in breathing, chest pain, indigestion, dizziness, nausea. And there's even some reports that say that oral minoxidil can actually lower the white blood cells, which means that the body is going to be more easily compromised when it comes to fighting off infections and diseases. So these are some pretty, adverse side effects, in my opinion, from taking oral minoxidil. And given that this is off-label, there's not a lot of people who are taking it, but for those who are really considering taking oral minoxidil, I would probably recommend that you guys start from a lower dosage, either 1 milligram or 2.5 milligrams per day. There really isn't an optimum dosage, and it still needs to be delineated in future controlled studies, but most studies range from 1 to 5 milligrams. But like I said, I don't recommend anybody jumping straight to 5 milligrams since we know that, normally higher dosages means more side effects, and that is also the case with finasteride. A lot of people are taking 1 milligram finasteride, tend to have side effects. So one of my recommendations when you guys are on finasteride is to start from a lower dosage, such as 0.5 or even 0.2 milligram. And like I said, I haven't tried oral minoxidil, and I have no need to since finasteride works fine for me. I don't have any side effects. I would give it a try if finasteride didn't work, as long as I didn't have any side effects from taking oral minoxidil. The one thing that really concerns me is the whole heart issue. Without long-term research on oral minoxidil, we really don't know the long-term effects that can have on the heart and particularly the other systems in the body. Heart issues are usually going to be chronic. Heart disease, it's over a long period of time and long-term. So you may actually do a lot more damage over, prolonged use. But like I said, if you feel the benefits outweigh the risk, you can look into oral minoxidil. And, for those who don't have any side effects from taking it, it can actually really do great wonders if you combine it with finasteride, because the two combinations would literally regrow your hair and eliminate the root cause of genetic hair loss, as it has a synergistic effect. So I think the two combinations would be a pretty lethal combination in treating hair loss. So here are a couple photos of two males who are taking 1 milligram of minoxidil orally. And as you guys can see, they have obtained great results in terms of hair growth with limited side effects. It's almost crazy to see just how much hair can actually grow even in advanced stages of hair loss with solely oral minoxidil. So guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope this video has been interesting and helpful, and hopefully those who aren't responders to topical minoxidil or finasteride or dutasteride may have an alternative treatment for oral minoxidil that they can consider. Like I said, it does come with a lot of risks and side effects, so make sure you speak with a reputable doctor who knows his stuff on oral minoxidil before taking any type of medication. Also, share with me your experience if you guys did end up taking oral minoxidil and have seen some good regrowth. Show me your before and after photos so that I can show it in another video when I talk about minoxidil. But that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys have any questions, please make sure to leave me some comments below, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Take care.